whistling tunes and kissing baboons in the jungle. It's a knockout.
All right, now.
Games Without Frontiers. What are they doing? Okay. Whistling tunes and kissing baboons in the jungle. It's a knockout. What's it?
Don't forget main event.
We'll look up the lyrics later. Kissing baboons. Or, what's it called? In the jungle. Okay, anyway. Games without frontier. War without tears. Games without frontiers. War without tears.
What's the world record of how many jobs you can lose in one day?
She's so popular. She's so popular. Jane plays with Willie, and Willie's happy again. That's one part I know.
What's the most WTs in 1 year?
I don't know. I'm trying to think about a Peter Gabriel lyric. War without frontier. Games without tears. No. Games without frontier. War without tears. Games without frontier. War without tears. She is so popular. She's so popular. That's not good. Games without frontier. War without tears. Games without frontiers. War without tears. She is so popular. She's so popular. I like those clouds.
Hey, world record. There's no world record for it.
There's no world record for how many jobs.
Let me get a hold of them.
Jane plays with Willie, and Willie's happy again. Everybody's around the bonfire singing. She's so popular. Oh, there's Linda's favorite place, Uncle Julio. We got ran out of that place one time. Like, could you please leave? We're like, yeah, sure. We're part of the Please Subscribe show. We'll leave. We're gonna rate this place. Nyeh, nyeh, nyeh. She's so popular. Ding. She's so popular. Games without frontier. War without tears. She is so popular. She's so popular. Hans plays with Lottie, and Lottie plays with Jane. Jane plays with Willie, and Willie's happy again. Leon, I don't remember all the characters' names. I remember Adolf sitting by the fire or something. She's so popular. That's one you have to really sit down and memorize. We're looking for 16, which is going to be north by northwest. Is going to be, remember, north by northwest was even. So south and east is going to be odd. So that way's north. It's going to be on this side over here, right over here. Hans plays with Lottie. Lottie plays with Jane. Jane plays with Willie, and Willie's happy again. Is so popular. She's so popular. Hans plays with Lottie. Lottie plays with Jane. Jane plays with Willie. And Willie's happy again. Suki. And that's all I got so far on memorization on that one. And there's something about whistling tunes on the something on the seaside. Woo! the seaside. Ooh, 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 ooh. Whistling tunes and hiding unknown in the seaside. I don't. Hiding a gnome. Whistling tunes and hiding a gnome in the seaside. Woo, 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 woo.
Play it, get it.
One more time. Just one more time, and then we're good. Let's start with thinking. Shh. Time thinking. Is it Lottie? Hans. I think it's Hans. Hans plays with Lottie. Lottie plays with Jane. Jane plays with Willie. And Willie's happy again. Suki plays with everyone. And everyone plays with them. And I know that they will play again. Woo, 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 woo. Whistling tunes and hiding a gnome on the seaside. Woo, 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 woo. Whistling tunes and hiding a gnome on the seaside. I just made that part up.
Okay.
And she's a dropout. And she's a knockout.
Never mind. I'm gonna have to do this.
I know. It's this song right here, though. It's not the right lyrics, Peter Gabriel. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, look at their super large David.
But we're going to listen to it and know it well. Know your song well, as Bob Dylan says. It's a very good song, Mr. Gabriel. Very good. Whistling tunes and hiding a gnome by the seaside. Right, Mr. Peter Gabriel, I got it. Whistling tunes we hide in the dunes by the seaside. Whistling tunes we hide in the dunes by the seaside. Thank you, Peter Gabriel, for that piece of verse. Once more. Whistling tunes we hide by the dunes in the seaside. Or whistling tunes we hide in the dunes by the seaside. Thank you. Something about kissing bamboos in the jungle. It's a knockout. And that's what I remember on that one. Games without frontiers, wall without tears. Games without frontiers, wall without tears. Brilliant. Absolutely. Got it. So, whistling tunes we hide in the dunes by the seaside. Whistling tunes and kissing bamboos in the jungle. She's a knockout. If looks could kill, they probably will. Games without frontiers, war without tears. Games without frontiers, war without tears. She's so popular. She's so popular. Hans plays with Lottie. Lottie plays with Jane. Jane plays with Willie. And Willie's happy again. Suki plays with Leo. Britt plays with someone. Adolf builds a bonfire. And Rico plays with it. La, 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 la. Whistling tunes we hide in the dunes by the seaside. La, 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 la. Whistling tunes with kissing bamboos in the jungle. She's a knockout. If looks could kill, they probably will. Games without frontiers, war without tears. Games without frontiers, war without tears. Dun, 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 dun. She's so popular. She's so popular. That's how it goes.
Press inquiries, business solutions, application
Guinness World
questions,
Record.
or careers, please visit GuinnessWorldRecords.com.
It's in Brooklyn, New York. It's Guinness World Record. She's calling that to see the most people who are working a job.
think it's a different kitty in the window. I got 2 cats, that's why the dog was outside. Hey baby, we missed you.
He's doing the well.
Oh, come on, kitty.
Kitty, how dare you? We know what you've been doing all day. We know. We have cameras and we saw. It's okay. We forgive you. You're a good kitty.
All right, get her shoes.
All right, take off her shoes.
Oh, is you on it first? Want to go scratch? Go scratchy, scratchy.
Then we'll get to this in a minute.
Oh, I missed you too, baby.
So I am watching The Dark Side of the Rainbow, but I found out that this is actually called something differently. It's called The Wizard of Pink Floyd, and I'll kind of show it to you here. And what they did in The Wizard of Pink Floyd is they probably put the, I guess you could say, the sound for Wizard of Oz on maybe like 3 or 4 level, and then they overlapped Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon on like a level of maybe 80%. So you can hear Dorothy and Toto barking and Dorothy talking underneath it, and it's even more such a coincidence of it being parallel in the same artistic masterpiece, as if they composed it to The Wizard of Oz. But you know, I don't think they did. I don't think Pink Floyd did. But I think there's coincidence because of energy level. Energy level will change in time and space for certain particular reasons. And Pink Floyd, I think they knew that. And they, you know, for example, I'll give you a really good example about The Wizard of Pink Floyd, or what they call The Dark Side of the Rainbow, is this segment right here. I want you to listen to the clocks, because the clocks come in right at the exact same time. The exact same time as the appearance of the witch on the bicycle. I just want you to watch it, because the actual I've used the clocks in a play before, and they're almost public domain. It's not copyright, because it's just the sound of clocks going off. But I want to show you. This is the end of the song, Toto and Dorothy. Why, oh why, you know, can't I? That whole thing. Now, I want you to watch. It is uncanny, because you have to start everything when the MGM lion roars on the 3rd roar. Then you hit play on The Dark Side of the Moon. This is called The Wizard of Pink Floyd. The Wizard of Pink Floyd. Also known as The Dark Side of the Rainbow. And then we're gonna watch this for a second. That's what I mean, is throughout this whole entire segment, you're hearing the clocks. I've used this in a play, not this aspect. Kitty, stop it. Stop it, seriously. Stop it. Kitty wants all the attention. But it does match. So there are moments where things match. I just wanted to show that. What people don't realize about Pink Floyd and The Wizard of Oz is, like all masterpieces, it's done in what's called French scenes. Now, a French scene can be defined in playwriting, if you read any books on playwriting, it's a segment to where there's a beat. One thing will stop, and a whole new direction will begin in a scene. Okay, you can just call it a scene, but it's also called a beat. Some call it a French beat, and some call it a French scene. And what it means is that there, of course, in a French scene, there'll be a beginning, there'll be a middle, and there'll be an end. And once that scene is done, it'll stop. Ideally, there'll be a beat, and it'll go into a different direction, okay? So Pink Floyd would have their little song, okay, that they would do. It would stop. There'd be a moment, and a new aspect of the song would go elsewhere. And all masterpieces have this, in every masterpiece. There's a moment where things stop and something new comes in, and it completes that beat. So there's different beats. And I'm not talking about a beat where it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about when it comes to a beat is a beginning, a middle, and then an end. And there's a moment where there's a change. And then there's a beginning, middle, and end. It doesn't have to do with the rhythm, okay? It doesn't have to do with the rhythm. It has to do with something completing and something new beginning. And Pink Floyd really, really wanted to do that. They did it in The Wall especially, but they also did it in The Dark Side of the Moon, which is what is played in, you know, The Dark Side of the Rainbow. Also, it is known as The Wizard of Pink Floyd.
Down Texas is Austin. Idaho
Okay.
is Boise.
We're going to show a segment of an ending of a beat, which this is the ending of a beat. She runs away from the Marvel, Professor Marvel, and is ending that beat. And something new is going to come in and things will change. I want you to hear the lull. Okay, you can kind of hear her. You can hear both the movie and you can hear Pink Floyd. Okay, so the tornado is coming. So we're at this moment ending this segment. I'm going to go ahead and, for copyright purposes, and then I'm going to kind of move up here so you can't see everything. So because they can flip out and block content. Here's where the new beat begins. It's a tornado. There's the house. You can see the chicken, and the music is different here. We're starting with the piano changing and a whole different segment where Pink Floyd is going into a different part of the song, which fits this French scene, or what they say, a beat. It fits the new scene that's being developed. So Wizard of Oz is done in scenes, right? A lot of movies, everything is kind of blended. It just kind of blends through. When I almost mean a scene, almost the curtain can come down and then the curtain open up again almost. It doesn't do it in this movie, but it could, you know, in a French scene or in what's called a beat where something new happens. And that really works well in The Wizard of Pink Floyd, or what is known as the Dark Side of the Rainbow. It really works when she first sees The Wizard of Oz, or when she, I'm sorry, it probably works there too, but it also works when the door opens and she sees the new color world of that world of what the Oz is, or what, you know, the world of color, because money starts to play. So a whole new song starts and a whole new French scene comes in where the door opens and it's a whole new segment to be dealt with. And also with Wizard of Oz, this is an old musical where the scenes were longer, and it was all played from the beginning, the middle, and the end until it finished, and it stopped and then went into a different direction. This is a great example of combining two masterpieces. No, it's not improvised, it's scripted. With improvisation, there's script in my world.
Okay, I got you, baby. All right. Well, you have a good night. Thanks for listening. All right, you can call tomorrow whenever you have time. Cole says hi.
And welcome to the Please Subscribe show. So we're at the segment now where money is playing. And Linda, did you want to show your shirt? What does your shirt say? It's Dark Side of the Moon. The appropriate shirt.
Correct. I'm
We'll
closing
look
my
at that
eyes
again.
and listen to
You
it.
can kind of see it. Actually, let me turn the light on. Here, let's see now. Go ahead and turn, and let's see. Yes, where did you get this shirt? Do you want to talk about it? Do you remember?
I remember. It's $25.
Where did you get it?
Please remind me.
It's called Josie's Records.
Mm.
Not too far from Kansas. Now, what are we watching? The Dark Side of the Rainbow, also known as The Wizard of Pink Floyd.
I'm not opening my eyes.
You're only listening. At this moment, and we'll rewind it a little bit to show you, when she opens the door, we're gonna show you and let you listen. Money comes on at the exact same time. And they say it's not coincidence.
I'm doing the beats.
But there is a French scene, move out of the way. There's a French scene after this where there's a moment of just like you could say silence.
Can you imagine if you woke up one day when you were
Salah.
blind in the 1990s? Can you imagine
Which
that?
we won't have, but watch.
Can't watch.
Shh. Now she's going here. We're gonna have a little slight beat change. There we go. See the silence? And that's when money will come in. Right here. There it goes. Copyright, baby. Copyright. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how the philosophy of Dark Side of the Moon and the Wizard of Oz coincide. So we have the philosophy of both the Dark Side of the Moon and the Wizard of Oz, because the North, in a way, you could say they're the ones with all the money. You know, New York, a lot of the money flow goes into New York City. So the Wizard of Oz was written by an author that was kind of making a comment about the Dust Bowl and the economy going into a Great Depression. And Oz represented the ounce of, let's say, a product, the ounce of grain for the farmer. So they had to get the money from the North. So in this fantasy, which was, I believe, written by a woman, it was written in notes, she was fantasizing about trying to get that money, the money they needed for their families of the South and of the farmers. So she's talking to money, which is the North, which is the good witch of the North, holding the rod. And she's trying to work a deal with Oz so that she can help her family from the Depression and the Dust Bowl, which you kind of see a version of it with the tornado. You got to really study what the Wizard of Oz is about. But it's a response to poverty and wanting to find funding and riches. And the Oz represented another version of money. So Pink Floyd may or may not have done it. I don't know. But they say they didn't. So it was just a coincidence, as they say.